very, very nerve-wracking. I think that's the main thing. You know, you have to appreciate that there's a lot of hostility towards towards English players in Australia, and a lot of it's good natured. Most of it is. Don't get me wrong. It's not nasty stuff. But so you know, not only are you battling against one of the finest cricket teams that you're likely to play against, but you've also got the nation of Australia on your back as well. And so it takes a certain amount of sort of mental strength to be able to take that out of your mind and just concentrate on doing your job, which is obviously batting and scoring runs for England.
Presumably you can hear individual comments as well, and if you can, do you have a strategy to deal with that?
You can. Every once in a while some hilarious wag will come up with something that you can hear, and sometimes you might even have a little chuckle to yourself. But you know, the thing about batting in general, whether you're playing in Australia, whether you're playing in front of 2 men and a dog in a county game in Derby or something, probably shouldn't have said that, but I have. The same thing is that you try and focus on what you're trying to do. You literally get yourself into a place or into a zone whereby all you're thinking about is the ball coming down. And one thing that I used to do, and it's something that I've always done in my career, is I normally get a song in my head, and I'll just be singing to myself out to the middle, and that way you're kind of.
Are you singing out loud, or you are just humming it?
Just in your head. Yeah. You've got the whole thing going on in my head, and you walk out to the middle, take guard, and off you go, and you've lost about 3 minutes of your life. You kind of walk out to the middle, and you haven't got a clue how you got there.
Can you remember anything the Australians ever said to you when you got to the middle?
I remember Test match at the MCG. I think we shuffled our batting order around. I think it was on the tour. Blimey, which one? The 98, I think 98, 99 tour. And we shuffled the batting order around. I had been opening. I ended up at number 3, and we lost the wicket in the first over. I think Mike Atherton got knocked over by Glenn McGrath, surprise, in the first over. And I walked out to the middle. And Ian Healy made a point of walking sort of 30 yards towards me and sort of straightened his cap and said, "It's no easier at number 3, Butch." And disappeared back up the other end, sort of thing. Yeah, welcome, thanks.
And whenever people watch telly, normally they see the incoming batsman greeted by the batsman who's already there, and they have a little chat. Do you actually ever? What do you say? Have you seen her in row X, seat 43?
I don't know, obviously.
But some do, yeah.
Some might. It very much depends. You know, sometimes a bit of humour is the best way to get over what could be a pretty hairy situation. You know, somebody bowling particularly quick, say Brett Lee bowling very fast with the Fremantle doctor behind him at Perth. Probably the best thing to walk up to your partner and say is, "Geez, he's bowling quick." So you might try and make a little bit of a joke about it, and something along the lines of, "I won't be backing up. I'll be staying this end. He's all yours," or something like that, and get on with it. But often you're just swapping sort of little bits of information about whether the ball's swinging or seaming. Some batsmen don't like to be told anything. You know, it makes them then preempt what their first delivery might be. So some guys you just go, "All right, mate, how you doing? Good, yeah, okay," and off you go, back up the other end, and it's as simple as that. You know, there's no great sort of tactical genius that goes on while you're doing it.
Now, lots of people have scored 100s in their garden. A few might have even scored 100 on the village green, but to score 100 in a Test match and against Australia, does it almost jump out of your chest?
Well, it's a pretty good feeling. The first one I scored was in Australia as well. I was at Brisbane in my first Ashes Test match away from home. And it was a real big feeling. It makes you feel like you've arrived on the scene. And no matter how many runs you'd scored beforehand, to score an Ashes Test match in Australia is a huge thing. Particularly as I'd only managed to score 9 runs in all the warm-up games beforehand, and had one more stitch in my eye where I'd got hit in the head than I had runs on the trip. So it was a pretty big one. We managed to draw the Test match too. But I will never ever forget the reaction I got from the crowd at Sydney. I scored 120 in the last Test match of the series in 2002, 2003, and that made the hair stand up on the back of your neck.